All right, everyone. Thank you for coming. We're doing a team AMA today, but first we've got a little bit of alpha for you guys that decided to attend the AMA. Well, actually, that'll be coming a little bit later. Right now, we have a video release for you guys that we're going to post in the general chat in just a second here, as well as we'll post it on Twitter, and we'll give a moment for everyone to check that out, and then we'll go a bit deeper into this. Give us 1 second. We'll get it posted. Boom. All right, so Cody just posted that in the general chat. I think it's on Twitter as well. It's a pretty cool video about the upcoming Emperor, so go ahead and give that a watch.
Guys, in case you have not yet seen the video, it's either on the Twitter or the general chat.
Wow. Every time I watch something that we make, man, I get goosebumps. I tell you that it's about time to have a PDE game where there's actually some skill involved and not just sitting around, waiting for a transaction to approve. So, okay. That should have been plenty of allotted time. If anyone hasn't seen it, feel free to check it out. We'll keep it posted so you guys, you'll be able to go back and watch it if you haven't seen it already. But let's go ahead and get started. Let's talk about a little bit about what we have coming up. We've been steadily working on the Emperor update. There's quite a bit that's coming out with it, and we'll talk some more about some more details about that in the AMA. But first, let's get our great team member Yuri up here, and we'll talk a little bit about the potions that are coming up for CryptoPuffies and the Emperor.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you just fine, Yuri.
All right. Hello, everyone. Hello, dear penguins. So I'm Yuri. Yeah, Galok. We are all excited about the potions, right?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Yeah. So uh, if you wonder what will be the use cases for the potions, it will be a really interesting mechanic that will introduce more strategy and much more fun to the ecosystem and the emperor itself. So we have been building with the idea of potions. within a really long time to find new ways to make Emperor much interactive and strategic. So, like potions will have different specs, and these specs will change the game. And also, when you cast these potions and how you cast these potions will be really important for the game flow. So it is a mechanic that we are going to introduce and will make the game much interesting and interactive. So and every potion will have different use cases and different effects, and will have their uh, different timings and other stuff related with the game.
Jury, let me jump in here because I see a lot of new faces in the crowd. So I just want to
Yeah.
clarify because I see a lot of new penguins who may just be coming in here and they're not aware what the Emperor is. Maybe they did not get the chance to play the first Emperor version. So I'll just give a quick summary as to what the Emperor 1.0 was about. But basically, the Emperor was the first gamified decentralized application on Avalanche, brought to you by the lovely team at Penguin Finance and the community, of course. But basically, the way you would play is that you would steal the crown, and that would basically like you would customize your character, and you would set a special name for it, and you would choose its color and whatnot. And there's a lot of different customization that went into the first iteration of the Emperor. But once you had chosen your penguin and put in its little sombrero hat, or maybe its pirate hat, maybe you put it red, maybe it was blue, whatever, you customize your penguin, and then you manage to steal the throne by bidding IPFi. So it was one of IPFi's first use cases within the different dApps that we're building and will be showcasing in the coming minutes here within the AMA. But basically, you would bid in order to take the throne away from whoever the emperor was. And the longer you sat in the throne, so however much time you were in the throne before somebody took the throne away from you by bidding a higher amount, you would accumulate time in the leaderboard, and by the end of however much time the Emperor round was lasting, let's say 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, whoever had accumulated the most time on the throne would be crowned the top emperors, and they would receive a jackpot. So a percentage of all the bids that were coming in to take the throne away from others, they would all go to a jackpot, which would be distributed to the top emperor. So that was version one. We've heard your feedback in regards to version one. It was not very friendly in terms of the amount of IPFi that you needed to have in order to play, right? Because at the beginning, it was a low amount of IPFi that you needed to participate. But then as people started to bid, in one of the rounds, we actually had, I believe it was 10 people bid within the same second. So as you can imagine, it was mayhem in terms of the amount of people bidding, and everybody wanted to take the throne from themselves. But the amount that you had to have in order to participate, it increased exponentially. So it made it so that in the long term, let's say 24 hours after the game had started, you really had to have a lot of IPFi in the bank in order to really have a good shot at winning the game. So that was one of the biggest complaints that we've had with regards to the Emperor. And in this version, I'm happy to say that we're making it so the first iteration of the Emperor B2 will not have that uncapped bidding mechanic. So even if you have, let's say, $500 in IPFi or $1,000 in IPFi, or maybe you have $1 million in IPFi, you have the same footing as others. So there'll be no whale advantage in that regard. For the first version of the Emperor that we'll be releasing, it'll be a more strategic game. It's not about how much IPFi you have, but rather what your strategy is, how you utilize the potions that we'll be going into and that Yuri was discussing, and how you play your cards in order to win the Emperor. So I think that's something that you guys will really appreciate, and it's something that personally has me really excited. We're decreasing the entry sort of barrier that was seen in the previous Emperor, as well as adding a lot of new features, right? The UI is absolutely astonishing. I'm sure we'll be able to showcase it a little in a few moments here, but it's a completely revamped version of the Emperor. Same sort of idea behind it with a lot of complexity. It's a more strategic game. I would dare say the most strategic game on Avalanche.
Yeah, I think that's a fair statement. As far as
Yeah.
I've seen, there's not many games where you can sway the turns with, or you can position yourself to have an advantage or a disadvantage, and there's just so many more variables in this opposed to just approving a transaction. Your decisions are going to determine the outcome. So it is actually a game, which personally I'm really excited to get to play.
Exactly, and also like when to do things, and also how to do things. These things will make the game a real game. So therefore, we are trying to build some like interactive space around here, an interactive experience around here with the changed mechanics as Frostbite mentioned, with much user-friendly bidding system with caps and other stuff, and also in-game depths with potions to make it much more interactive and strategical, as you mentioned.
Yeah, it's all about the potions. Those are going to turn the tide of battle. We'll see kings made and kings slayed by these potions, so that'll be neat. But yeah, a fun fact. Actually, I brought this up the other day. Ever since I've joined the team, I've never played a round of Emperor, and I've always been a huge fan of Penguin Finance, even before I was part of the glorious team. And I've seen the Emperor played out, and in my mind, I thought that you lost the money that you were bidding. But yeah, you actually you don't lose. I think what you keep 97% of the bid, so you're not really paying anything to participate. And the way we have it structured now, where there's various rewards all throughout just playing the Emperor, I mean, you may as well give it a shot. You got nothing to lose, so it's for everyone.
Yes, exactly. And like within the previous version, like the first version, as you said, like 97% will comes back to you, and the other percent goes for the jackpot and the nests. But like it will that generated you some different stuff. Like if you win, you will generate some income, right? And if you don't win, you will also get some indirect income because of the APYs in the nests. So like it was a really good thing. But like as we said, as Frostbite said, there was some stuff needs to be implemented and developed. So like in this new version, we're trying to build a great gaming ecosystem, and we put the PeFi token again on the center, so giving much more utility while making it fun. So that's the key point for the new Emperor and the gamification of the Penguin Finance.
Yeah, thank you very much for bringing that up, guys. I think that's a very important point to in our home. But yeah, 97% of what you were bidding would go back to your wallet, and that 3%, I would say half of it was going to the nest. It of course, it varied depending on each round, so it wasn't a set figure. But let's say roughly half of the money that was collected would go directly to IP5 holders. So every round of the Emperor that we had in the past, it was directly contributing to everyone who's holding IP5. That's where the revenue was coming from. And then the other half was going to the jackpot. So even if you just bid once, you were already contributing to the jackpot that everyone was chasing to win here. Now, one very exciting thing that Yuri also pointed out here, and it's also something that we've heard from a lot of you penguins in that community, is that a lot of you don't have the 72 hours, the 48 hours, or 96 hours to be sitting at the computer just playing the game, strategizing all day. It's quite hard, and not everyone has that amount of time. Plus, it's mentally taxing. So this time around, we're making it so now that the Emperor is the only a gamified application on Avalanche to receive Avalanche Rush incentives, we're going to be distributing those Avalanche Rush incentives to everyone who participates. And it'll not be in an equal manner, right? If you bid once, you'll not get the same amount of AVAX each time. But you have a certain percentage chance, so it'll be random, to win a very sizable amount of AVAX. Maybe you win half an AVAX, maybe you win 20 AVAX. It'll just be up to luck. But everyone who's playing, maybe you just steal the throne for yourself once, you will have a chance to make many times more than you were bidding. So I think that's a really exciting point that the new version of the Emperor also brings.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't know how much you're going to win, but there's plenty of opportunity too. So it's definitely exciting. But yeah, potions are coming out here pretty quick. It's going to add a lot of variables to the actual gameplay. What's the first potion that's rolling out, Yuri?
So the first potions that we are going to roll out are the Bane Toxin potions and the Hailstorm potion. So these two will be like integrated in the system firstly via in-game marketplace that we're going to introduce for our penguins. And like these potions will be like respectively, Bane Toxin will be like a poison mechanic, and also Hailstorm will be like a freeze mechanic that will freeze the top 5, let's say, for a certain time. And it's like every mechanic will have like limited number of use cases within every game to protect the game flow and itself. But like every potion will have its own uh, utility. So a player needs to be much consider the strategy when to use it or how to use them, and in what order they're going to use them. So, but like at the first rounds, we will be introducing, as I said, the Bane Toxin and the Hailstorm, and within a time interval, we will be introducing much more potions for the upcoming rounds also.
Awesome. So lots of potions to come. And Cody Maverick, he actually put a little sneak peek of the potions in the AMA questions. So give that a look. I mean, our design team's so talented, man. Everything they make, it just looks so good. But yeah. So Moss Boss, your question here. I would say to answer Puffies, you're going to be able to create potions. These potions are going to have their own market, so you know they'll have a set value, so you can accrue that with the Puffies. As well as there's more to come than the Emperor. So there will be more play to earn aspects involved than just the Emperor side of this. So
Yeah, and
Yeah.
also I will. Oh, sorry, Frost. Go ahead.
No worries, Adri. Thank you. So, guys, I think it'd be best if we also read the question for those that are just listening. Maybe they're in the car, maybe they're riding their bike, and they don't have the ability to look up Moss Boss's question, which I think is a great question. So I'm gonna go ahead and read it out loud to those of you who did not see it in the chat. But basically, Moss Boss said, "This is being called play to earn, but the Emperor has always been play to win, not play to earn. Play to earn can have a winner, but everyone should be earning as they play. Can you explain how this new version is play to earn and not just play to win, where 99% of the players lose money? Play to earn should benefit the person who puts in the time to play. IP everywhere is going back to the nest, benefit all IP5 holders, so that's not play to earn either." So, Moss Boss, I think that's an absolutely excellent question, and I will definitely 100% agree with you that the first version of the Emperor was 100% play to win, right? Only the top 5 were winning. If you were not within the top 5, if you were almost in the top 5, you were 99% almost within the top 5, you were not earning money. It was not fun for you. Well, it was a fun experience, of course, but it was not fun for your wallet. That's the biggest criticism that we got for the Emperor version 1. So what we've added with all the Avalanche Rush incentives that we're going to be dedicating to the Emperor is a new mechanism, it's a new contract that makes it so every time you bet, you have a percentage chance of winning a certain amount of like a separate jackpot. Let's call it the AVAX incentives jackpot. So that's going to be completely separate to the top Emperors or the leaderboard itself. It's just going to be for people who bid. You could bid once and earn X amount of AVAX, right? Maybe it's 0.1 AVAX, maybe it's 10 AVAX, maybe it's 100 AVAX. It's going to be completely random. But by participating once, you already have a chance to earn. So that's how we're adding that sort of play to earn mechanic, especially for the Emperor. But we'll be discussing a lot of different mechanisms within this ecosystem, right? Because it's not just the Emperor. The CryptoPuffies will be playing into the Emperor. The potions will be at a very diverse system that will also play within the arena and within the Emperor and other applications, right? So it's not just that the Emperor is the play to earn mechanic within the Penguin Finance ecosystem. There's a lot of stuff going down that we're going to be explaining soon as we get into the Puffies. But to answer your question, by just simply bidding once, just participating once, maybe twice, maybe thrice, you already have a percentage chance of winning multiple of times whatever you bid, like a multitudes more than you bid. I hope that answered your question, Mossboss.
Yeah, great question and great point. I should have read that out, but yeah, I hope that does answer your question. So, like you said, there's multiple opportunities where you have something to win. You don't have to be in that top 5 at the end of the day to be a winner. But yeah,
Yeah, and exactly like if everything will be like in the phases, like step by step, we'll be going through the complete play to earn experience. As Frostbite said, like we will start with different mechanics, and we will see the organic numbers and the growth, and the like the attraction that we get, and the feedback that we get from these potions. And like after this, I want to read the Mythic's question on the AMA section. So Mythic asked like, so Puffies can create potions and sell them for PeFi. Did I understand right? Yes. So at the beginning, the potions will be like introduced step by step, right? As I said before, and these introduced potions will be sold in the in-game marketplace that we introduced to you guys in the Emperor game. So at the beginning, at the first phases that we said, we will like when we introducing the potions step by step and like seeing the numbers and getting the feedbacks and engagements from the community, the marketplace for the puffies will be like centralized, sort of centralized, like the we just build it for in-game, so you will just buy it with like a skill, in-game skill, as my friend Frostbite shared the image with you guys. So you will just enter the in-game marketplace and you will buy the potions, and the money goes to the nest holders. So the money raised from these marketplace will be just sent to the nest holders, and yes, they will be you can buy it with the PeFi token. So after the second phases, the further phases, we will be introducing a new marketplace where people can buy and sell their potions with PeFi token, you know, and like that will create a free economy around the potions and the PeFi token as a currency for these trades.
Thank you very much, Yuri. And just one thing I wanted to add in here, because I see a lot of Puffy holders, a lot of Puffy holders like myself, within the AMA, and I must imagine that a lot of you are asking, like, the potions are awesome, of course, but how does the Puffy itself, how does it really play within the Emperor itself? Can I use my Puffy for the Emperor? And the exciting answer is that yes, you'll be able to absolutely use your favorite Puffy as the character that will be playing for you within the Emperor. So you'll be bidding against other Puffies, maybe bidding against Penguins, but ultimately you want to have and ensure that your Puffy is the one to take the crown. And we'll even be introducing Puffy only rounds where only Puffy holders will be able to play that certain round and participate for those Avalanche Rush incentives that are going to be dedicated to that Emperor round.
Yeah, and also like for the puffies and into in these games, as we said before, every puffy will have different use cases, advantages, so to create the potions regarding to their color, they will create the potions respectively with their color.
right. So what you're
And
saying is, go ahead, Frost.
okay, I'm sorry, guys, look for cutting you off here. I was just gonna say I saw a great question here from Cloudhunk. So Cloudhunk says, will games be more regular? For example, one starts immediately after the last. What happens when Avalanche Rush rewards run dry? Okay, cool. So that's a great question, Cloudhunk. Basically, in regards to your first question, yes, we've made unlike the previous Emperor, that each round per se was its own standalone contract. myself and those of you who are into Solidity and just smart contract development in general, I'm sure you appreciate the effort that we put into the new Emperor contracts, because now there's going to be a master Emperor manager contract that will be creating small Emperor contracts per se that will hold the AVAX and the other information. So basically, it'll be ever ongoing, right? So once one round ends, it's all automated so that the next round is just ready to start. And then each of the different rounds, it'll have varying mechanics. We may introduce a Christmas version, for example, or a Halloween version, and just tweak the skins, tweak the background, make the game very seasonal per se in that regard, and just tweak the mechanics as well. There'll be certain rounds that will have a higher amount of Avalanche Rush incentives versus others, and some you'll be able to win PeFi or iPeFi. So we're really switching things up and making it a really dynamic and automated game, unlike the past where each round had to be deployed manually and then integrated into the user interface every time we wanted to launch a round, which was really painstaking, and it took a lot of time, which made it so that we couldn't be having Emperor rounds as much as we'd like. But with this version, is absolutely possible, and the smart contracts themselves are actually made for it to be automated in that way, where without any Penguin input per se, it's all running smoothly on the Avalanche blockchain, and you'll be able to enjoy the Emperor as much as you'd like, and in a much more often fashion without having to worry about when the next round will start, because it'll all be laid out in front of your eyes on the beautiful UI that our design team has created.
Great questions, guys. So yeah, depending on the colored puffy you have, it'll determine what colored potion you can make. Different potions, different effects. So we're not going to get into all the colors and potions here today, but just know that you might want to have you some variety in your puffy holdings. If you're sticking to one specific color, maybe try to grab some others. You want to have as much advantage as you can in the Emperor rounds. But yeah, thank you for that, Frost. So let's see here. There was another question that I saw that I wanted to address. Oh, and I've seen this question a couple times. So if you're staking puffies to get potions, what about staking for AVAX? Yes, that is still a thing right now. And I can say that, if someone's taking puffies out of the igloo to put into the lab, that APR is going to go up in the igloo. So that's nice to see. I'm glad to have some differences in where you can stake your puffies to kind of give you a little bit more strategy as to what you want to get out of them.
Yes, that's the beauty of it. Like even the yield strategy, like Igloo or the lab, will be a strategical thing. You have to decide on how you're going to manage it. So it will also like introduce different strategy around the things that we are building also.
Another great question here from Runman. So Runman says, when will you give Golden Puffy reward, sir? So Runman, that's a great question, and I'm sure a lot of you lucky Golden Puffy minters are asking yourselves, and I'm probably have been asking yourself for some time now. So look, it will be implementing a new section within the CryptoPuffies website where you'll be able to claim your reward. So basically, you'll just fill out a quick it'll just ask you a couple of questions, such as where we can contact you, what your address is, the Puffy ID that you minted. And once we verify that you did in fact mint the Golden Puffy and you have it within your wallet, we'll be dispatching the AVAX rewards directly to your wallet. So that's going to be happening within the next 48 hours. We're going to be implementing that within the CryptoPuffies website. So that's something to look out for as well if you've been one of the lucky Golden Puffy minters. And guys, remember, there's still some Golden Puffies left to be minted. I wouldn't know how many that is, but I believe that we still have many to go. Well, not many, since we're almost at, I believe, 65% minted. I don't know the exact figure right now. I haven't checked. But don't forget to be looking out for as many colors as you can, and especially keep an eye out on those Golden Puffies, because they're going to have some special attributes within the igloo mechanics that we're mentioning, as well as the potions, as well as the Emperor. So if you have one of those Golden Puffies, you're very lucky, and be sure to hang on to it under any means necessary.
With that said, I'll take it off your hands if you don't want it. So hit me up. No, I'm just kidding. Keep your golden puffies. All right. So Symbol had asked, just to clarify, this upcoming Emperor, will puffies be able to brew and sell potions? So that is not going. You won't be able to brew and sell in this coming update. The first expand. Oh, Cody answered this. Well, I'll go ahead and I'll continue. The second expansion, you'll be able to do that. You'll be able to buy the potions with PeFi to use them in the game. That's what's coming up. But later on, they will have their own marketplace. You'll be able to craft and sell them.
So I would also love to mention, like, at the first phase that we mentioned, within the in-game marketplace, all the proceeds goes to Nest, and at the second time for the marketplace, all the revenue and royalties taking on the marketplace will also goes through the Nests, but within much more free and flexible economy where users will earn from those selling and the buying of those potions. So that's a really important point to point out.
Right, guys. So regarding what was mentioned about the different expansions, I don't believe that we touched upon this on this AMA particularly. So as you all know, and as you can probably tell, we are big RuneScape fans. We're big World of Warcraft fans. We're big fans of a lot of games out there. And well, why did we create the Emperor? Because we noticed that there's a huge lack of actual games. As gamers ourselves, we notice that a lot of the play to earn games, in quotes, I'd say, are not really games. It's just a nice UI where you buy a token and then you stake a token and then you get another thing and you use it on your NFT. But it's not really a game. There's no strategy behind it, and there's no animations going on. Like it's like, I don't know if you guys have played Cookie Clicker, but it's just there's a lot of iterations of Cookie Clicker where you would get X token to get Y token to get this NFT to get that NFT, but it's not fun. Like you're playing it because it's profitable and you're making money, but it's not really a game in the sense of having fun, seeing things happen on screen, having animations, and having a cool design behind it. So we figured we have the best design team on Avalanche, so and we're gamers ourselves, so why not bring it to the next level? Now, as you may be aware, with World of Warcraft and a lot of the games out there, they're rolled out within expansions, which is what we're going to be doing with the Emperor. So expansion 1, it'll feature some of the potions that we mentioned. It will have the Bane Toxin and the other spells that you mentioned at the beginning. And those will be purchasable with PeFi, 100% of which will go directly to the Nest. So all of you PeFi holders, you'll be directly profiting from the first expansion already. Now, in the second expansion is when we'll be introducing the lab, which is something that we haven't yet touched upon. And that plays into the different potions that Yuri mentioned and how different colors will be able to create different potions. So at the beginning, the potion itself, it won't be an NFT per se. It's just sort of like a beta version of the potions, whereby you'll be able to purchase them with PeFi. You use them in that particular round of the Emperor, and they're gone. Now, once we hit the second expansion, the potions, they start becoming wilder. So rather than just being specific to one game, the potion you'll be able to use within the arena, you'll be able to use it within the Emperor, and it'll be a special NFT that you'll be able to have in your wallet, and it'll be produced directly in the lab. So, Yuri, do you want to enlighten us with some more information and details about that sweet laboratory for the puffies?
Yes, exactly. So, like, besides your experience with the igloo for the puffies, you will also have laboratory experience on the phase 2, which we call the next expansion for the penguin game. So, like, within the lab, you will generate. You send your puffy to the lab, and like, you will generate the potions with respect to the color of that certain puffy. And like within every upgrades, as Cody mentioned, like level up and other stuff, your production of the potions, production amount of the potions, and like the other stuff will be also increased, and you are going to interactively developing and get in touch with the every aspect within the ecosystem, and and within the lab, once you generate your potions, you will have some different pathways to use it. Whether if you are a player, a gamer, you want to use that potions, you can use it on the games for have better strategies and have some better experience on the games. Or you're just a trader, you can just go for the marketplace and you can just trade it with people and earn something from it around this free economy. But like the phase two is going to be built around the lab, creating a really great economy around the puffies and the penguin ecosystem. But everything will be centered for the PeFi token, and like whatever you do, um, the things that you earn will be for the benefit for the PeFi token and the PeFi holders. So the lab will be having um, having these use cases as I mentioned at the start. So generating different potions with respect to colors with your puffies, but these experiences, like these performances of these puffies, can be upgradable, and that's a really important point for the next play to earn era. So as Frost said, like we will be having different expansions. So I would love to share those names of those expansions and the steps that we take. So like the phase one, what we call is the Potionverse, Intro to Potionverse, where we'll be introducing you to potions with you within much uh, different manner, like in-game aspects. And phase two is the new play-to-earn era with I mentioned, like the laboratories and brewing of the potions with your puffies. So it will be putting everything into the NFT space. So everything will be really interactive, and the potions that you produce will be NFTs, and you can trade it or use it. And there will be really cool play-to-earn mechanics also. But as I said, don't forget that everything will be focused on the value proposition of the PeFi token itself. And for the next phases, as Cody mentioned, Mad Scientist Cubis, you will be having some different missions and raids to make different interactive game modes and making it much more fun. As Frost said, like we really love playing different RPGs like World of Warcraft or RuneScape. So we are really inspired by those, and like we really want to put things on like another step, making different lores around it, giving some different experiences that we don't have in the blockchain right now. All we have like the ideal games, but like we really want to make things interactive, and story and like different phases, like expansions, are really key point for it. Like and as we said, like the another expansion will be called like the Raid of Mad Scientist Cubis, and we will be introducing missions and raids, and in there you will require some certain uh, items like potions, tokens, and other stuff like puffies. And when you met the requirements, you will send your puffies to that certain mission, and you will get the rewards for that certain quests. So it will be another aspect, another dimension for the Penguin finance ecosystem and the gamification of it. And like with these missions raids, you will be having like a PvE experience on top of the interactive gaming experience. You will be like just as exactly feeling like you're in the raid for the World of Warcraft, you know. So it will be really fun. And also in the third phase, we will be introducing the crafting. So the crafting, you will be um, making different potions with use of the simple potions such as like Bane Toxin, Hailstorm, and you can combine those to generate a hybrid potion. However, since it's a crafted potion and a hybrid potion, it will also boost their effects, so it will be much different and much have like more advantages when compared to when you cast them like respectively. So these will introduce different dimensions in the game, and we believe these phases will make it safe, consistent, and fun. So what we are planning are those.
Jury, I think you accidentally muted yourself.
Oh, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So what we're planning is to implement those phases within a really good timeline to make it like make everything like get all the feedbacks and build a really strong community around it. So step by step, we'll be implementing these changes and introducing new mechanics to the platform. Yeah, that's all.
Great point. And this is going to be feedback driven in a lot of ways, guys. So we are going to be looking to y'all to give your feedback on how the game's going. We want to make it balanced, obviously, and make it as fun of a game as possible. So the community that uses it is going to be the best indicator of what needs to be balanced out.
Awesome. So I see a lot of good questions in the chat here. So Grospov, he asks, in the gaming industry, we see more and more platform allowing creators to add their games slash mini games in the universe. Do you plan to open the platform to creators or community in such a way? And the answer is definitely. And not only do we plan to open the platform so that everyone and anybody can suggest and create their own dApps within the Penguin Finance ecosystem, but we're actually going to be incentivizing it with PeFi. So in the future, we don't have a specific date yet. We're going to be releasing a creator campaign where there's going to be actual incentives for everyone out there who maybe you're a developer, you have some Solidity experience, maybe you're a designer, maybe you're a game developer, whatever sort of skill set that you have, if you want to put it into use and improve the existing applications within Penguin Finance or create a new application within the Penguin Finance ecosystem that uses the potions and integrates the puffies or whatnot, you'll not only be incentivized, but there'll actually be bounties that you can collect, and there'll be competitions for you to really get the bang out of your buck in terms of developing and not just for, in an economical sense, but in a lot of different ways. We're going to be incentivizing this.
Awesome. GameFi, baby. I'm excited. But yeah, that's a little bit about it. Thank you, Frost and Yuri, for giving information on it. I think we're gonna wrap up here pretty quick. We have time for more questions if anybody wants to add anything in. Team, if there's anything else that we should go over real quick, feel free to bring it up.
Yeah, there was a question that we missed from from Tilda about like how how is PeFi intertwined. So like, did you design some token sinks that burned similar to the other blockchain games? On another note, what about the tokenomics redesign of PeFi? So uh, like in terms of the tokenomics or max supply, we are not changing anything in terms of PeFi. But like for as we said before, with different mechanics, introduction to the emperor, different percentages of the revenue goes through the nests. We are planning to get most of the benefits for the IPFI holders, while within the different phases, as we mentioned, like the different phases, like first phase will be like much more like playing to win. But like for the fully play to earn experience phase, we will be introducing different solutions and we every solution will be for the benefit for the PeFi token itself without changing its tokenomics or the having trouble with the emissions and other stuff. So and also we in the future we will be like in the near future we will be introducing some in-depth articles explaining how we are going to do it.
Great answer. Tilda always has such good questions.
Exactly.
Excuse me. But yeah, and we've got time for a few more if there's anything that you guys would like to add in here.
Awesome. I see a lot of great questions here. So FBU, I'm sorry, I don't. FBEAUPRE has a great questions here. So, what's the timeline for the first, second, and third expansion? So, for the first expansion, we're targeting it this same week, where we're going to be releasing sort of the beta version of the first expansion, where you're going to be able to purchase the potions. Of course, since it's the first version, there's a lot of balancing that needs to go on, but you'll already be able to start betting and winning with the Emperor. As for the second expansion, we're definitely targeting for the next 2 months. I would actually say sooner rather than later. But let's just say within the next 2 months, the second expansion will be fully fleshed out. The laboratory will be out. You'll be staking your puffies to earn certain potions, and all this that we've explained will start really. It'll all be out there for you to experiment and start collecting those puffies depending on which colors you have and which colors you don't have. Now I see another question here. Let me see. So Jason asks, testnet. We've come to the tactical decision that for the Emperor initially there will be no testnet for it. We've already done the testing ourselves. The first version will be on the Avalanche mainnet, and as I said, it'll be a better version. So there'll be a lot of tweaks. Expect a lot of different changes, improvements, and whatnot. But it'll be on the mainnet, Jason. Now, Nosna84, he asks, he or she, I'm sorry, many puffies are in the igloo. Are rewards coming back? So yes, we are going to be rewarding you in several different ways. I can't go into it in detail quite yet, but it'll go beyond just Avalanche Rush incentives. But yeah, the igloo's not going anywhere, guys. It'll keep getting rewards, although in a different fashion.
Most definitely. And Mythic, I think that kind of answers your question there, which was, will CryptoPuffies see terrible rewards in the igloo again? There's a whole slew of different rewards coming to CryptoPuffies. Right now, yeah, you can still stake and get AVAX, but like Frost had said, we're not going to go into too much detail, but the APRs for CryptoPuffies will be higher in the future.
Nosta84 also had a great question back here. He said, what about the stats for our puffies? Attack, defense, etc. So yes, the stats will come into play, but they'll be part of the arena. They'll not come into play within the Emperor itself.
All right. Well, I think that about wraps. Go ahead, Frost.
I'm sorry, guys. Look, I see some great questions here, so let's try to get a couple more in here.
Sure.
Just 1 second. So Sahip, he has
subnet.
Sahip has a longer question. He says, "Hey, community strongly feels your absence when things go not in favor. Please reconsider your community management for things like ended rewards, delayed upgrades, etc. Just try to make sure you inform us as much as you can, not letting gossip to run around. We understand things can go wrong by time." So I guess this is more so a comment than a question, but yeah, Sahib, in order to maximize or increase the efficiency of the support, because as you know, we get thousands of messages on Telegram, and we were initially handling all support directly via getting PMs on Telegram and answering those PMs. But just because of the huge amount of spam and just the immense, you will understand how complex it can get to really manage a Telegram inbox. We've standardized the process for receiving support. So if you had a problem with rewards, for example, or maybe you harvested some AVAX incentives and you didn't get the expected amount, we've created a new page within the penguinfinance.org website. Let me just reconfirm the exact address here, and I'll send it into the Discord as well. Okay, So if you go to www.penguinfinance.org/contact-us, I'll post it on the Discord. You'll see a diverse suite of forms. So first of all, you'll be able to see the documentation. You have the support form and the feedback form. So if you click on either of those, you'll either be able to open a support ticket, which we'll be able to handle in a much quicker fashion, because you'll be asked for your address and other important information. And then you have a feedback form where you can provide feedback and in a more direct fashion, rather than just commenting on Discord or Telegram, which is also great. And we're always attentive to your comments on Discord and Telegram. But if you really want to formalize it and make sure that the actual feedback that you have is really set in stone, or at least provided in a more direct fashion, I urge everyone to please go to the feedback form on the Contact Us page. If you don't want to type out the address, on the header, so where you see home, farm, launchpad, stake, collectibles, other, if you hover over other, you'll see Emperor, Arena, the club, and then feedback and support. So if you go there, please, if you have any questions, if you have any problems, go to the support form, fill it out, and we'll get in touch as soon as possible. If you have any feedback and any ideas that you think we're not listened to, maybe on Discord or on Telegram, or you'd like to really formalize them, please go ahead and fill out that feedback form so that we can get to your ideas faster, and your support tickets as well.
Awesome, awesome. So yeah, it's an exciting week coming up, guys. Let's puff and go. Yeah, I think that about wraps it up. We're always available to answer questions, whether it be on Telegram or Discord. So, feel free to reach out to us if you ever have anything. But definitely any issues, fill out those support tickets, and they will get addressed.
Thank you very much, guys, for being here. And please remember, Penguin Finance is what it is because of penguins, for penguins, by penguins. It wouldn't be this way without all of you guys' support. And I just wanted to make a small shout out here because I see a lot of beautiful puffies on the AMA here. I see Pengu with a beautiful blue puffy. I see Puffy with a beautiful orange puffy. I see Nosna 84 with a beautiful red puffy. Jason with an awesome space puffy with a cowboy hat. I see Crypto with a 7 with his awesome soldier puffy. I see Jasui with his banana puffy, his black puffy. I see Jervis with his custom made puffy on the moon. And yeah, and I see Jalea 420 with his black puffy with the little tan hat, which I think is also pretty cool. So beautiful puffies in the chat, beautiful penguins as well. I see Momo87 with his legacy PeFi profile picture. So awesome to see you guys in the chat. Phoenix as well with his awesome Phoenix penguin. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. It was an incredibly productive AMA. We really had a great time. And as I said, check out the Contact Us forum if you have any support questions, any support related issues, any issues whatsoever. And if you have feedback, please hit us up on Discord, Telegram. Penguin Finance is Penguin Finance because of you guys. So thank you very much for tuning in, and have a beautiful rest of your night, day, morning, afternoon. Take care.
Thank you, everyone.
Take care, everyone. Thank you for attending.